losing ourselves in this electrifying game. We're drifting down, we feel it so alive with every move we make. We're gonna take this time with his music, taking over the world. No limits or boundaries, we'll let our dreams unfurl. The rhythm is the heartbeat, it's running through our veins. We're K-Fred music, we're gonna make it rain. The rhythm is a heartbeat running through our veins. We're K-Fed music, we're gonna make it rain. We're gonna make it rain.
Hostess who's standing in for the Lion Queen, Deanna Brakefield. Deanna, say hello to everyone in K-Fredland. How are we doing?
Hello, it's a glorious Thursday, and welcome to Lunch with Lynn. Unfortunately, we do not have Miss Lynn with us today. Sometimes personal things happen, and we have to find somebody to step in for us. And thankfully, Lynn is such an amazing woman. She has a wonderful network. Obviously, she's the networking queen, and so she has lots of people that she can call on when the worst happens. So we wish our best to Miss Lynn today, and we hope everything goes great for her. But we are live with Lunch with Lynn. Welcome all of you wonderful, wonderful smiling faces. Today, I want to go ahead and announce what our question of the day is going to be, so you can all have a little bit of time to think about it. Now, for those of you who are new, don't panic. It's just a little stress reliever question, something to have a little fun with. So today, our question is, what was your favorite Halloween costume to dress up as when you were a kid? Now, if you were one of those that did not dress up as Halloween, what was your favorite costume that you dressed your kids up as? So maybe, we'll get an answer either way. So I am obviously not the most experienced at doing this, so I'm going to do my best today. I hope you'll all hang with me. And I would like to get started today with a quick word from K-Fred. Fred, will you tell us all about your wonderful radio station? If you're paying attention.
Sorry, I was paying attention. However, I'm bouncing between making sure everything's going out. We are going out. The phone number which you can dial in at and ask questions is 323-580-5755. That's 323-580-5755. You can also chat live at kphred.com. That's kphred, pronounced so it sounds, K-Fred. Listen to us on Get Me Radio. You can hear us with Get Me Radio, the Get Me Radio app on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku TV. Got a lot of TVs in there. Fire Stick TV, and my favorite, Amazon Alexa. Other big news, met with a Seattle radio station yesterday, and it appears they're going to take at least one, if not two, of the K-Fred show hosts. One of them who normally shows up here, although I don't see him yet. Must be a conspiracy.
I do not see him either.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy, but we'll get around to that.
Hey, I think it's a full-blown conspiracy because all of Lynn's special people that we normally have speak during the meeting. Not a single one of them is here today. So it looks like it's just going to be, well, I meant from her marketing hubs. Mark Anthony, I'm so sorry. I did not forget about you, I promise. So let's go ahead and get started with our tech tip guru. I'll let him go first today since he looks raring and willing. Mark Anthony, the next 5 minutes are yours.
Hi, you've changed a lot, Lynn. Okay. Mark Anthony Arena here. I'm the host of the Computer Exorcist podcast, thecomputerexorcist.com. This week I torment a scammer, and it's beautiful. We just hit 5,200 downloads, so I'm very grateful. And that's all a little under 2 years. So appreciate telling your friends. What's our question of the day?
Our question of the day is, what was your favorite Halloween costume to dress up as a kid?
Probably like, I was probably a robot made out of a cardboard box, something like that. That was pretty awesome. Love the candy. So today's a quick tip. Do I need a Windows app to use WhatsApp? First, the Windows App Store contains nothing of any value. Most of the apps on there are $6 apps that teach you how to download software that's free at the author's site. Second, since WhatsApp is a cloud-dependent thing anyway, you can use their desktop website. Just launch a web browser and go to the real freaking address bar up top and type in web.whatsapp.com and press the enter key and sign in. That's all that app is anyways. It's a safe way to use WhatsApp on your computer. It's just a website. You can bookmark it for future use. Speedo. Finally, the moment the WhatsApp was gobbled up by Facebook, it became an instrument of recording your behavior. They don't listen to your actual conversations that we know of, but they record who you're talking to, and the metadata. It just means who you're talking to, how often you're talking to them, and so on. The founders of WhatsApp immediately encouraged users to abandon it in favor of Signal. Signal works in an identical way. It looks the same, acts the same, but it doesn't spy on your metadata. TheComputerExorcist.com. Any questions?
There are always wonderful questions from Mark Anthony. I know somebody has something. Going once? Yes, Miss Kelly.
Well, I'm wondering where we can find Signal because I've had a hard time downloading it.
What kind of thing are you using?
On my phone, I can download it. On my Windows computer, I can shop.
Same exact concept. You never need an app for pretty much anything. Since it's all cloud dependent anyways, you just go to their website, and I believe, let's try this out here. So same exact concept as WhatsApp. You never need an app if you're on your computer. You just go to their website. And then, ironically, you're not even allowed to log in. You have to beg your phone to talk to your computer to let you in. Let me try it here.
That might be why I was having a problem.
Yeah, so, and any apps that you think are there are scams. So if you go to signal.org, let's see here. They said there's a Signal app for Windows, so it's garbage and it's useless. So go to signal.org, and then you go to, where'd it go? All right, so you're not allowed to find it on the main site. Here we go, get Signal. And then it'll say, shame on you, you need to use this on an app. So we're going to say download. Nope, don't want that. Signal for Windows. Now I got a scammer attacking my phone. Yeah, so apparently they're not even allowing a website. Let's see here. Signal.org install. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so that's the one thing I don't like about Signal, that you're not allowed to use the website here. Signal for web. Let's see. That's a great question. Standalone Signal desktop.
Is Signal also double encrypted?
None of that matters anyway, but yeah, it's all fine. It's all encrypted to the gills.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll look it up, but there should be a way to do it. If you have to use the Signal app for Windows, fine. Here we go, web.signal.org. Sorry, too bad, not allowed. Okay, that's the answer.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, Mark Anthony, can you tell us where you are located, sir, and how they can contact you?
I am near Niagara Falls, and it'll probably snow in the next week, so I'm enjoying the outdoors. So 585-789-1856 or thecomputerexorcist.com. If you're near Boston, I'm going to give a bunch of speeches at libraries in the second week of December.
Exciting. Well, thank you so much for your input today. As always, you're absolutely amazing. Let's move on to one of our participants today. Let's start with Miss Dorcia Hart. She always has the best tips and info for us. The next minute is yours.
Oh, thank you, Deanna. Yes, my name is Dorcia Hart, a retired pharmacist that doesn't believe in drugs. Why not hydrate yourself instead and let your body heal itself? Dehydration makes you feel tired. If you're wondering why you're tired and no energy, then hydrate. Get that water back in there and you'll feel so much better. The best water I found to hydrate is hydrogen-rich water. Don't let inflammation take over your body. Dehydration and inflammation go hand in hand. Drink better water. Let your body remove the inflammation and waste naturally. Change your water, change your life. If you have a question or just some general information about health, you can give me a call at 323-559-5537. That's 323-559-5537. Or you can make an appointment. So, yeah, think about hydration, nutrition, and movement. Your body uses all three of those to make yourself healthy and heal your body naturally. Thank you.
And Miss Dorcia, where are you located?
I'm located in Los Angeles, but I can help you all over the world. And my favorite Halloween costume, I don't know if I ever had one. I think every year I was something different, but probably like princess. So I like the little wand. I can go around and wand people.
I love that. And thank you so much for your quick input today. I'd like to remind all of our listeners that you can dial in at 323-580-5755. That's 323-580-5755 if you have any questions for any of our participants today, or if you just want to chime in on an interesting topic or our question of the day, we'd love to hear from you. So let's go moving right along to our next participant, Miss Anita Bala. The next minute is yours.
Hi, my name is Anita Bala. I'm from the Chicagoland area, and I'm with Melaleuca. It's the largest health and I'm with a health and wellness company where we solve everyday problems, and I help people save money at the grocery store by simply switching stores. The other business I have is I'm a pronunciation coach for English as a second language. So I help non-native English speakers speak more clearly and confidently. I can be reached at 630-854-6664. Once again, my phone number is 630-854-6664. And I didn't really have any favorite costume growing up, maybe a Martian or something like that. But
so like Marvin the Martian or like an alien?
I don't know. I just had like Martian headband with like antennas on and stuff. So it wasn't really. No, a nurse. I was a nurse one time, so that's probably one of my favorite costumes I've worn.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Miss Anita. I'm going to put somebody on the spot just a little bit here. I would like to go to Miss Kelly Kellum. Now, she is a member of our Mastering the Money Matrix group, and she is not our speaker of the day for that group. But like I said, I'm going to put her on the spot just a little bit since her counterpart didn't show up. Miss Kelly, the next 5 minutes are yours.
Well, thank you so much, Deanna. I appreciate it. Right now is college admissions time, and this is a time when parents are dealing with not only the stress of figuring out what college their student should go to, but the bigger stress is how do you pay for it? And a lot of parents are telling me it just keeps them up at night. They have no idea what to do when they look at the cost of college right now. Just so you know, the average cost of college is between $40,000 and $80,000. It's ridiculous. Let's just be honest. So one of the things that I always suggest to parents, and I think this is the biggest thing that parents can know, is that to pay for college, there is something called merit money, and that is given to students based on what they did in high school. So merit money can significantly decrease the cost of college. I'm just looking at a school right now where they said you can get up to $47,000 a year in merit money. Granted, the school costs $87,000, but that is half your tuition right there. So how do you get that merit money for your student? You want to start as early as possible. The reality is that students need to start preparing for college in 8th or 9th grade now. And what it means is actually getting the right classes for them. And I will tell you right now, a lot of times the high school counselors are not as effective at that as we would like them to be, or as they think that they are. So getting the right classes, getting into smart activities, not every activity, but smart activities for your student and their strengths and their passions helps your student get that merit money. It's based on grades. It is based on, yes, SAT and ACT scores now. We're back into that world. But it is also based on community service, leadership, some other things that your student does. And again, it's all in high school. But this is how you can save up to 50% of college tuition if your student is going to a private school. Most people think that the best way to pay for college is to send their students to a public college, the big state schools. And the reality is, not only do they do cost less, but they give a lot less merit money, usually only $7,000 to $10,000. But the national average right now is that your student is going to take 6 years to get out of a state school. And those last 2 years, you get no financial help from the school, and most of the scholarships end after 4 years. When you really look at it, sometimes a private school is the same money as a state school, and maybe even you get less. You pay less, because with the private schools, they really try to get the students out in 4 years as opposed to 6 years. So when I'm talking to families about paying for college, I'm also talking to them about the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. Everybody should fill that out. Whether they think they should, whether they think they make too much money, they have to fill that out or they will get no assistance, not even the government loans, the federal student loans. So the key is here that there's a way to fill that out that can really hurt you. And a lot of parents, not knowing how to fill it out, do make some serious mistakes that can cost them tens of thousands of dollars. I'm helping a family appeal right now, and you can appeal your financial aid, by the way, and they're going to save $20,000 just because the FAFSA was filled out incorrectly, and we were able to go back and appeal that and get that corrected. There's some things that you do before you fill out the FAFSA, and that is setting your student up for success with where their money is. The 529 plans are something that many of us are familiar with because most states offer a 529 plan pre-tax so that you can set money aside for your student. The catch is, number one, it can only be used for tuition and direct school expenses. It cannot be used if your student does not go to college. It cannot be used for other things, anything but tuition, really. So the other thing to know, the second thing about that is 529 plans actually hurt you on the FAFSA. they decrease the amount of financial aid your student is going to get. There are other options, and this is something that is talked about a lot in our Mastering the Money Matrix group. Several of us have talked about some other things that you can do. There are annuities. I am not a financial advisor. I'm a financial coach, so I'm not advising anybody to do something, but there are annuities. There are cash value life insurance policies that are a fantastic way to pay for college if they're set up early enough, or to set them up and then pay off the loans with that. And there are other things that can definitely be done, but the key is always starting very early. Even if you don't think your student might go to college or you don't know, still makes sense to set up some kind of an account. And this is where the 529 plan may not be the best thing for some families. I'm not saying it's not good for others, but it really matters when you come to actually paying for college in terms of what you're doing to set your student up for success, either for the merit money or to figure out how to pay for college and not have it hurt you on the FAFSA. So I'm Kelly Kellum. I'm a college admissions strategist. You can reach out to me at 847-997-1449. That's 847-997-1449. And I text college to that number if you would like to talk with me. I do give a free consultation. You can also catch Liz Lewine, who's also on this call, and myself on our radio show on KFred Radio called Beyond the Books, Teen Success Secrets. Thanks so much, Deanna.
Now, I was actually going to ask you about your upcoming radio show, ladies. Has that already launched, or are we looking at it? Oh, so when is our scheduled time that we air every week?
It is 2 p.m. Pacific time every Tuesday. And there are other times throughout the week because that one is only a 30-minute, and then it's replayed a couple of other times throughout the week.
Excellent, excellent. I can't wait to hear it. So I'm going to apologize to you people. I don't know if you've heard the annoying alarm going off in the background. I do not have Lynn's wonderful dance music timer. So if you see me do this, you are out of time. I so much apologize for that. But we are doing the best that we can without our lion lady today. So moving on, the next minute is yours, Keith Robinson.
Greetings, everybody. Keith here, coming in from Ireland. Even though I'm in Ireland, I can operate in quite a lot of countries throughout the world. What? Pardon?
That was unusual. Please continue.
Okay. So I'm heavily involved in the health and wellness space, as most of you know already, helping people to clean their arterial system, balance their immune system, balance pH. And when you do all that, the body goes into repair mode. But there was some fabulous news released lately from the Quinta Columna laboratory. These people were one of the first ones to actually put out the information about the COVID injections, that the fact there was graphene oxide in there, which actually passes the blood-brain barrier. But they've been working on how to deal with that and how to deal with the nanotechnology that was in there. And they have just released the fact that nicotine actually melts the nanotechnology. They got some blood and with the nanotechnology in it and put it into and dried it out and then they made actually nicotine tea, put it in a top of it, and I can send anyone the video that wants it, and it actually dissolves all the nanotechnology. So it's fabulous for people to be able to deal with that problem who have taken part in that medical experiment and been misinformed on what they were actually taking part in. So gladly help anyone on all that. Hand it back to Deanna.
How can they reach you, Keith?
I'm on WhatsApp. Plus 353 is the Irish part of the code, and then it's 8625241183. So it's 353 for the Irish part, 8625241183. I can WhatsApp that way, no problem.
Now, do y'all dress up for Halloween in Ireland? I know they don't do that everywhere.
Yes, it is common enough, but don't ask me to think back of what I ever did.
Has that part of the memory receded into the dust?
Yeah, well, you see, you tend to park things that are of no interest to you.
Oh, okay. Ouch. Well, as always, Keith Robinson, you are absolutely amazing. You come up with the most interesting topics for us to discuss. But moving right along, our next guest is Mr. Chris Lipper. The next minute is yours.
Hey everybody, Chris Lipper on the bus, Small Business Owner Coaching, and normally that's what I'd want to talk about is our coaching of small business owners with our mastermind groups. But today I want to talk about our Metaverse trade show that is coming up on Monday, and you're all invited at no charge. I'm going to share screens real quick just to show you. So when you spawn in here and tech support greets you and they register you. We have presentation rooms up here where there's presentations every 25 minutes. And then down here is our trade show floor. So it looks a lot better with 100 people running around or something like that, but you get the idea. This is our 23rd show, so we've gotten pretty good at this. You're all invited at no charge to come. I'll put the information in the chat, and I will leave it there. Thank you.
Now, Chris, for our radio listeners, they cannot see what you just showed us. So can you describe for us a little bit better what we were looking at?
Yeah, so it's kind of a next level of life. It's an animated world, we'll call it, but your screen is still there. So imagine your Zoom screen with legs running around. Be aware there are no backgrounds. So you will, if you've got a messy bed behind you, we will see that. You can turn off your screen if you want or blur it, but most of us have it on. Okay. And you go to onthebus.biz to register, and I'm looking for the chat button. Here it is for you guys. And there's no charge to attend, and I promise there's business there for you.
And for our question of the day, sir, what was your favorite Halloween costume as a kid?
As a kid, I grew up in boarding school, so I was probably away. But as an adult, I had a wife who was really creative. And one year she made herself a rabbit costume and me a carrot. And I even had to wear like orange stockings, which was a really weird experience for a guy. I'll speak for myself. It was weird for me.
Orange stockings. I would almost pay money to see you in orange stockings, Chris.
There's a picture somewhere, I'm sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today, sir.
Thank you. Hope to see you all Monday. My feelings will be hurt if you don't come.
Well, you all heard him. He has an event coming on Monday, and he wants us all there. We don't want hurt feelings from Chris.
That's right. Thank you.
All right, so I would like to once again remind all of our listeners that if you are interested, you can absolutely reach out to us. We have a call-in line available for your convenience, and I cannot find the number in the chat because I have lost my mind. So, Fred, if you would, can you repeat that number for us?
323-580-5755. That's 323-580-5755. Thank you, Deanna.
And we look forward to hearing from anyone that wants to call in. We always have the best time doing this meeting. So I am actually going to put somebody else on the spot because, like I mentioned, our speakers for the day decided that they didn't want to join us. They had better things to do, not. So Mark Bartosik is a member of our Business in a Bundle group. And if you would, Mark, the next 5 minutes are yours.
5 minutes. I say, Deanna, you know, with me and talking, that's going to go a long time.
I'll cut you off.
All right. So my name is Mark Bartosik. I'm a Chicago native. I actually do live in the city of Chicago, and I always start new catchphrase of things. It's like, so I'm the energy guy. I work with Ambit Energy as helping people to save and make money through their electric and gas bills, whether it's business or residential. We have options and plans for you. A lot of people get confused on the matter of what do you mean with the electric bill? If we're going to change anything, everything stays the same for customers. You still get your electric bill from the same people you've always gotten it from, whatever market that you're in. The only difference that changes is that you are now changing the price that you pay for the retail side of it. Just think of it like when you go to Target and buy a box of Kleenex, or you go to Walmart and buy the same box of Kleenex. Either which way, there's still a box of Kleenex, with the difference being what you pay for it because of the retailer you're getting it from. Simple as that. I'll leave my information in the chat so that way you can check your zip codes and everything. As far as opportunities that we offer, anybody who's interested in building a side income or additional business, it doesn't interrupt with what you do. I get a lot of people that go, it's like, well, I don't have the time for that. It's like, listen, if you needed the time for this, I wouldn't have been doing this. Because at the time when I started, I was working like 70, 80 hours a week doing food delivery for a restaurant. And that was back when I was 22, 23 years old. After doing this business, I was able to retire from the job world at the age of 25. So I am now going to be 33 next month. And I've thus been retired for about 8 years and just enjoying freedom. But I do tend to sometimes forget of, the like day-to-day of everything. So if I am scheduling, with you to talk over Zoom to get to know you more, and I'm scheduling for like your lunchtime at work or dinner time, like my clock is a lot different. So just know I'm open to any different time. Deanna will tell you, it's like we're talking at like, even 11 o'clock at night, because I'm always doing business. Electricity never sleeps, neither do I. So as far as question of the day, I honestly actually, not to be the Debbie Downer kind of thing, but I've actually not dressed up for Halloween, so I don't really have a favorite costume. And I could say that I've seen others in favorites and stuff, and so a cousin of mine, their son is like 2 years old and wanted to dress up similar to their dad, which is a cop. So you have the 2-year-old that dressed up as a cop and wanted his little RC car to be painted like a cop car. So I'll say that as a favorite because that was really cute. My focus on business, whether it's business in a bundle or businesses from home, is just helping everybody to build a significant enough income so that way when people ask, how's business, you can say, oh, great, rather than, it's going. Is to help everybody have more financial and time freedom, so it allows you to live a want-to life rather than a have-to life. And I don't know if I'm at my 5 minutes yet or not, but I'll just wrap up on that, and I'll leave my information in the chat.
So for our listeners, if they're interested in more information, how do they get in touch with you?
They can reach me at any social media at Mark of Success 21, or they can hit my cell or text or call my cell at 773-370-2748.
Repeat that number one more time.
That's 773-370-2748.
Thank you so much, Mark. As always, you are a bundle of energy, and I'm going to go ahead and warn anybody that gets on the phone with him. He's going to keep you on your toes, guys. He is a mile a minute and loving every second of it. So moving right along to our next guest, we have the wonderful Rob Homan from Florida, who is down on his desk and may not be listening to us.
No, I was just putting my phone back down. And so let me ask you, do you do an annual wellness visit for your health every year? Now, think about it. You should also be doing an annual wealth checkup for the same reason. An annual wealth checkup is crucial for tracking your financial progress, adjusting for life changes, optimizing investments, managing your debt, and ensuring tax efficiency. And it also helps you stay on track with your financial goals, adapt to any kind of changes, maintain financial peace of mind. And I specialize in offering free wealth checkups. I mean, it doesn't cost you any money to find out where you're standing right now. My name is Rob Homan with RNC Financial, your health and wealth bodyguard. I'm licensed in 37 different states for both life and health, but I only live in one, which is Florida. I'm a husband, I'm a father, and a pa of 5 awesome grandchildren. And best way to reach me is a call. Phone number is 813-943-9683. And again, that's 813-943-9683. And growing up as a kid, I got to be honest, I typically dressed up as a football player in my youth. However, the best costume I ever wore was the Captain Condom costume. And talk about being the life of the party. But yes, of course, I did incorporate a Speedo as part of that costume. So, yes.
Of course you did.
Of course.
And I would like to remind all of our listeners out there, if you like what you're hearing and you don't want to dial in, but you want to join us, Zoom with Lynn, you can register at zoomwithlynn.com, and we would be happy to have you. We meet every Thursday at 12 p.m. Central. I won't try to go into the time zones because I always get those mixed up, but that's 12 p.m. Central. So moving right along to our next guest, Miss Jaya, or Dr. Jaya Kasturi.
Okay. I'm Jaya Kasturi, an internist from Naperville, Illinois, about 45 miles from Chicago. I've been a physician for 55 years, and I've done network marketing for quite some time. I represent a company which has the world's only activating products. Our slogan is, take it to make it. The products are nutritional compounds, but they are made in such a way that they affect your cellular pathways and affect particular genes to get activated and make your own antioxidants, your own proteins, enzymes, and of late, a hormone like GLP-1, which is for weight management. Many of you have heard of Ozempic and other Mounjaro and all. They work on the same principle, but they are injections. They are $1,000 a month. But we came up with the best product to be taken orally, only $150 to $160 a month, and very effective. And it does not have any side effects. So I'm all excited, and I want to share with all of you. My phone number is 708-646-1098. You can get in touch with me. And, to be very frank, I was born and brought up in India. I didn't even know what is Halloween. Okay. So only after I came to this country, I knew what is Halloween. But my grandson, he dressed as sumo wrestler once. I love that costume.
I love that. Your grandson is so cute, or at least he was when he was little. Can you repeat that phone number for us one more time so people know how to reach out to you? 708-646-1098. Thank you so much, Miss Jaya. And now we are going to move on to a lady who has been with us for a few weeks now, and we always love hearing from her. Miss Wendy, the next minute is yours.
Thank you. So glad to be here. Welcome, everyone. Hello. I wanted to ask you, are you feeling depleted? Do you have enough time or energy or support? And I invite you to join us for a 30-day online superfoods nourishment experience. And I went ahead and put the Facebook event in the group where you can learn more information about it. But I invite you to come into this special container. We're going to have somatic healing. We're going to have a sacred dance journey, all in the comfort of your own home. And this is a time for you to really reflect on yourself and nourish yourself. Right now with the fall equinox, it's a time to look inward and really self-care and take care of yourself. And you can reach me on Facebook at Wendy Michelle York. And if you want to reach me direct, my phone number is 626-377-6666. 6421. And my favorite Halloween costume was a cheerleader. And I'll tell you why, because when I was in about 5th grade, I looked up to all the cheerleaders that were in my local high school. My sister was in high school. She wasn't a cheerleader, but so I would go to the games and watch these cheerleaders, and they were on point. I mean, this was back in, the 80s, early 80s, but they were awesome. And so for this one Halloween, I actually got to borrow one of their official cheerleading outfits. And so I felt like I was part of that group. It was really, really fun. And I do have pictures, but I'll have to look and find it.
And one more time, if you would, how can people reach you if they would like to contact you?
Sure, perfect. My phone number direct is 626-377-6421, and I'm at Wendy Michelle York on Facebook and Instagram.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. Well, next I am going to move on to one of Fred's special kids. We mentioned it earlier. Her and Miss Kelly have a wonderful radio show that has just recently started airing. So, Miss Liz, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit like I did Miss Kelly, and the next 5 minutes are yours.
Ooh, 5 minutes. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Liz Lewine. I live in Los Angeles, California, and I work nationally. I am a career coach for teenagers and young adults. I help teenagers find alternative paths to a traditional 4-year college. So if a 4-year college is not their journey, I help them find an alternative option. And that can be entrepreneurship. That could be a gap year, internships, trade schools, college deferment, even community college, and even just joining the workforce. So I help them go from undecided to decided after my customized 3-month 101 coaching program. And for those youngins that are in their 20s, I help them get those hard to find and land internships and their first job out of either high school or college. So as Deanna mentioned, and as my wonderful co-host Kelly mentioned, we have a phenomenal podcast called Beyond the Books, Teen Success Secrets. And we really do talk about everything that is related to life after high school. And on my side of the coin, I specialize in really helping those families figure out options, because you cannot fit a square peg in a round hole. So college is obviously for some people, but it's not for everyone. And I help those people figure out what it is that they want to do, what their strengths are, their passions, their interests, and skills. So come listen to us, and I really look forward to talking to these families. And also, the biggest thing for me is I am finally in the process of leaving corporate. I've been a corporate recruiter for 20 plus years. So I've been the gatekeeper, and I'm taking off my rejection hat and I'm putting on my coaching and mentoring hat, so I can finally help these youngins get those jobs, move on from the recruiter screen and get to the hiring teams, because it is not easy to get past some of these recruiters. So finally, I get to help with that, and I get to actually say, okay, let's back up the bus here and figure out what's not working and how you can get to the hiring team. Because unless you're a trust fund kid, you have to work at some point, whether it's at Starbucks, McDonald's, Target, Spotify, SiriusXM, entertainment, whatever it may be. You do have to work, and you have to know how to interview and land those jobs. That's all.
So ladies, let me ask you a question. Kelly, you handle the financial side of college, and Miss Liz, you handle the options if they decide college isn't the right answer. So really, between you, you can help most people find most of their post-high school options. Is that correct?
Yes. That is true. Absolutely correct, Deanna. Thank you so much for stressing that point because, yes, that is exactly it. So Kelly and I really have a great reach because we help so many people. And, you know, both of us actually talk about internships and gap years and trade schools. And that really is my bread and butter. I have done a ton of intern hiring when I was at Fender Musical Instruments, and when I was at Saatchi & Saatchi, I led the internship program. So I'm a big proponent for internships. So anyone and everyone who's listening, get an internship.
Well, actually, if I could just add, what I do is not so much the financial side. I was speaking for the financial group. Most of what I do actually happens while the students are in high school and helping them find the best at college so they can get all that merit money.
So, Kelly, would you say that it's imperative that high schoolers start planning not in their senior year, but the year before about what life looks like after high school?
Actually, 8th grade, 9th grade is when they should start planning. And I know that Liz and I just did a podcast about that a few weeks ago, and she said the same thing. They have to start planning early because they have to figure out what their path is likely to be. If they want to go to college, they need to start that early in order to get, like I said, the right class, set themselves up for success. And if a student is in their junior year and they have not already started looking at colleges, they're behind the game because it takes a long time to figure out what the right fit college is. I'm actually meeting with a family today. We're looking at 10 colleges. I'm going to narrow it down to 4 or 5 that are really the right fit for their students.
So, ladies, would you say that even if the student suspects that they might not want college, it's best to plan early that you are going to college because it's easier to say, nope, I've changed my mind, I don't want to go, than nope, I've changed my mind, I do want to go?
Yes, and I actually work with some students who aren't sure. So we plan the trades as well as their academics so that they can make a decision their senior year. I will sometimes even have students who aren't sure go ahead and apply to a couple of colleges. They can always make the decision their senior year. But as Liz will tell you, internships, informational interviews, all of that is something they need to be doing on their path along to figuring out what is right for them. Right, Liz?
Yes, exactly. And I have said this so many times. I worked at Spotify, and my hiring teams cared less about a degree and more about the it factor. And do you have the values that Spotify has? So that Spotify has a lot of values, and we would interview against those values. So that's passion, it's transparency, it's innovation. So that's really something that I talk a lot about with my clients is values. Values. And part of that informational interviewing process is figuring out if those companies and your potential boss has those values.
Ladies, I love talking to you, and we could fill the entire 2 hours with what y'all have to say, obviously, because you have your own radio show with K-Fred now. So, Ms. Liz, one last time, how will they reach out to you if they're interested?
Yes, thank you. And before I go into that, so I love Halloween, and as a kid, I would wear many, many different costumes, and we would trick or treat all the time, but my favorite was Wonder Woman. So I love the show Wonder Woman, and I love dressing up as Wonder Woman, you know, powers, you know, the wool bracelets, the whole thing. And also, I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but, you know, I'm myself. So I have dressed up almost every year, even in my adult life, in late adult life. I always dress up. So I'm a huge dress up person. Okay. Oh, and sorry, everyone, reach me 310-254-7205. And my email is coachliz@lizlewine.com, and I will put everything in the chat. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I'd like to take just a quick moment to remind all of our listeners out there that if you hear someone that sounds interesting, somebody you want to engage with, or you just have a random question, as long as you are not inebriated, I know that's one of the things that Fred likes to say, you can reach out to us at 580. There went my phone number. 5755. That's 323-580-5755. And we would be glad to field any and all of your questions as long as you aren't being a nerp today. We love everybody, but we have to contain the crazy somehow. So moving right along, did we lose Carolyn? There she is. Miss Carolyn Hobbs.
Thank you very much, Deanne. Lovely to be here again. Glad I got the right time and wasn't just coming in the meeting right now. So my business is Carolyn's Card Box. I specialize in writing cards for people all around the world. I've been selling greeting cards in the UK for 18 years. The cost of sending a card starts at £4 for each card written. And the people that generally buy the service are those who have elderly relatives or any relatives, who live in the UK. So I send the card from the UK to the UK. The service is faster, it's cheaper. The card arrives in about a week as opposed to 3 to 4 weeks if you're sending it from abroad. So let the cards fall where they may. Just so to explain, if you have relatives so you live in the States and or wherever it might be around the world, and you have relatives in the UK, then you, instead of posting the card from where you live, you contact myself, and the card would be sent from myself with the wording that you would supply me, and then I would then post that out to your relative within the UK. So it cuts out all the stress of wondering whether the card has gone on the plane or the boat or whatever transport it might take to come over to the UK. And then your card should arrive, as I say, in approximately a week's time.
So, Miss Carolyn, if they want to reach out to you, how will they get in touch?
So my WhatsApp number is +44, which is for the UK, and that's 7769 788 281. That's +44 7769 7.
And did you dress up for Halloween as a kid?
I do not recall ever going out to Halloween as a child. I'm not sure whether it was a thing in my day. I'm not sure.
That's fair.
But, yeah, I don't recall. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Now, I do have a question for you, Miss Carolyn. And this is going to sound a little mean, but it's a chance for you to really shine here. Okay. What would you say to somebody that says that the written word, as far as cards and letters, is dead?
Definitely not dead. You can put a card in a frame and put it on a wall as a memory. Now, can you do that with a text message, a WhatsApp message, an email? Doesn't have the same impact. If you live alone, to receive a card through the letterbox, the person has thought about you. They've thought about the card. They've thought about the design on the card. They've thought about what they've written in the card. They've addressed it and they've posted it. So it's the thought of somebody's thought about you. And the elderly people, more so than ever, if they're living perhaps in a care home or a nursing home, it's the talk of their week, their month, their year if they receive a card from a relative from overseas. So, no, the written word is definitely not dead.
Very, very much alive. Thank you so much, Miss Carolyn. I'm glad to be. Yes, Jaya.
I agree with Caroline. You know, this is a personal touch. Cards are always, especially birthday cards. In my family, we have that tradition. We will never do any birthday greetings on email or this thing. We have to have a proper card. And cards are I think that's a very good idea.
Yes, I totally agree, Jan.
Thank you so much. Now, did we lose Joel? I don't see him in the room anymore. That's all right. Hopefully he will rejoin us. Moving right along, our next wonderful guest is Miss Arlene Morgan. Now, I've had the personal pleasure of working with this wonderful lady. She is just amazing, so amazing. And if she is with us and can hear us, Miss Arlene, the next minute is yours. There we go.
Hi. I was doing other stuff too. I was listening to everybody, so don't worry. I did not hear what everybody talked about. But Arlene Morgan Creative Services. I'm a digital support specialist. I provide seamless digital support to enhance the visibility and efficiency of my client's business, whether it be websites, Zoom webinar assistance, branding, logo, graphic design, email newsletter, ebook, document conversion, Excel spreadsheet, anything like that. Those are all the technical things that I assist my clients with. And this basically allows them to focus on what they do best, grow their business, increase their profit, and support their clients while balancing their lifestyle. So in essence, I help the client to take back their time to work in their business as opposed to on their business. My information is in the chat. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can subscribe to my email newsletter. It's a once monthly newsletter with lots of tips and information. You can schedule a time with me or visit my website and check it out and see all the services I provide, as well as referral recommendations. Any questions? Don't hesitate to contact me. Freedom is your lifestyle. Making that happen is mine.
All right, Miss Arlene, repeat that website for them one more time so that they can find you if they're looking for you.
Okay, it's Morgan VA, as in Virginia, service.com. MorganVAservice.com.
And did you dress up as a child for Halloween?
No, I did not. I'm originally from Jamaica. Halloween is not my thing. Even when I moved here, it was still not my thing. I had to drop my daughter off at my sister and let her deal with it. But no, sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm finding it very interesting that there's a trend that a lot of people in this group didn't seem to quite participate in Halloween. But it's very interesting to see the differences across the generational spectrum.
Lynn's going to be disappointed in a few weeks when she's dressing for it.
By the way, that's a good reminder. If I am not mistaken, Lunch with Lynn happens on Halloween Day this year. So Lynn had already said, if you are going to join us for October 31st, dress up. I know all of our radio listeners can't hear us, but we love to see each other in costume and just have an absolute blast with that. Moving right along, before we getting down into our last few people, Miss Dawn Tellinghusen, the next minute is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. I apologize for coming in late, doctor's appointment, and rushed home after that. But yes, my name is Dawn Tellinghusen. I am proud to say that I have been an independent Avon ambassador for 41 years. The Avon company has been around for 137 years. Now, what company can say that? Not too many. But I love that you got the theme of Halloween today, because it just so happens that in our new book that just started yesterday, we have some Halloween fun in there. So we have some two-piece sock sets that I'm going to show you. These cute little socks with the pumpkin on the top. And then these cute little socks with your candy canes. And it comes with a Halloween hair tie. So that's a set that we have in our Avon book, besides all of our wonderful K-Beauty and more. We also have some great necklaces for Halloween. So there's your pumpkin that comes with earrings. And then up here on the top, I've got an owl. So if you're not really into Halloween, but there is your little owl, and it has matching earrings as well. And then a couple more here quickly. I have this necklace right here that's got your little charms on it of a pumpkin, a ghost, black spider,
some other little novelties. But if you're not into Halloween, this leaf necklace right up here, that does also come with matching earrings. That might be something that you would like to get and order from my online store before they're gone. Now, I know that those of you that are here can see the chat that I posted, but if you want to go to my online store and you're listening on the radio, you would go to bit.ly/Avon Dawn brochure. You'd be able to go right through the virtual brochure right there and see all these things that are in the book that I showed you. So my other forms of communication, you can call me toll free with my toll free number, 866-896-AVON, AVON. Again, that's 866-896-AVON. That comes right to my cell phone line. And you can also go to my online store and enter our free sweepstakes, which would be bit.ly/sweeps with a capital S and then Dawn with a capital D. So go enter the $500 sweepstakes, and also my favorite Halloween costume. Okay, well, I first have to tell you the one that I made for my daughter when she was a newborn was a white eggshell made out of a fabric, and she was in kind of a gold little one-piece outfit, kind of like she's sprouting out of her egg, and we carried her around door to door in that beautiful costume, and then I got to say, yes, Mommy made that for her. So, and then I have also been the best little black witch you could ever find. Definitely get in contact with me. I'd love to chat with all of you.
That sounds stinking cute. I almost wish that I could see pictures of your little girl dressed up as a baby chickadee in an egg. That's just adorable. Now, our next guest, I owe her an apology because she is new with us, and so I stuck her on my new people list, and she was one of the first people to join us today. So, Miss Valerie, we would love to hear all about you and what you do. You're muted, Miss Valerie.
Thank you very much, Miss Deanna. I appreciate that. I am Valerie Smith from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. My husband and I just relocated here a year and a half ago from Boise, Idaho. We grew up in Wyoming, actually, and I am a former elementary teacher, every grade but second. My book that I'm supposed to be writing is called Every Grade but Second, and I was introduced to you all from Kelly Kellum via my teammate that I work with. His name is Dan Eisen, and Dan contacted me to contact Kelly, and I met with her about a week ago, and she told me about all of you, and it just sounded rather intriguing and definitely something I can probably learn. So my favorite Halloween costume was when I dressed up as a hippie in the 60s, which hippies were just coming into vogue. And I was in 5th grade, and I put a mop over my head to make it look like long hair, and the little wire glasses, and I carried a guitar, and I think I was hoping I was looking like John Lennon, which I didn't quite reach. I didn't quite fit that bill, but that was my favorite costume, was being a hippie in the 60s. So I love that. My profession, now that I am no longer an educator, I did that 26 years. I am now a financial professional, and I work for the large national company called World Financial Group. We are a brokerage. We're also in Canada, and we have 84,000 agents. Our target market of people are those that don't necessarily go get financial counseling for themselves. They need financial counseling. They don't know that they measure up to receiving it. So we help. Our motto is never leave any family behind, and helping families to build better futures. So our company offers two services, one for financial wealth building and one for providing professions for those that are so supposedly in between opportunities. I have built a team nationwide, and my agents are coast to coast, really. So it's really fascinating and fun to meet people from every state. And one of you that's from Virginia, I forget which one. I do have Virginia agents on my team now too. But this aligns with what Kelly was telling us about getting students ready for college or even just adult life or life. And she mentioned that 529 plans are set up exclusively for college or university or a definitely an educated related deal. And so many students, as you said, are not the college type, or they get into college and realize then that they're not the college type. There are many professions out there now that are high yield in pay and in edification that don't require a college education. So those parents that are investing in a 529 plan, it is restricted just for college. Those parents who want their children to go into business or insurance or other trades, they need another plan for planning. And so what we have available, and since we are a brokerage, we have a whole array of things to choose from that are kind of categorized in the green investing part of saving money, and that's the non-risky stock-related trading ventures. Ours are safe, like annuities and IULs, Indexed Universal Life. But I'm always looking to build more people on my team. Our team is fun and very professional and satisfactory, and what we do means a lot to a lot of people.
So, Ms. Valerie, if somebody is interested in more information about being a team member or about services and products that you offer, how would they get in touch with you?
Our website is worldfinancialgroup.com. We're in all 50 states and Canada. We're very, very diverse. We have people from all over the world in our company that have immigrated to the United States, and we have all backgrounds, plumbers. We have many doctors and nurses and people in the health-related field that have come to join us because they are burned out in what they were doing, whether it was because of tired knees or sore backs or just it's a very physically demanding job or profession in medicine. And so we have lots and lots of folks in our company that are from medicine.
And on a fun note,
yes.
On a fun note, our question of the day. What was your? Oh, you said hippie, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
All right. So before we go to our last guest of the day, I need to remind our listeners one last time that we have a dial-in line. We'd love your questions and comments. You can reach us at 323-580-5755. That's 323-580-5755. And you will be greeted by the wonderful Fred, who will get you online with us. So our last guest for the day is Mr. Victor Lopez. I have been seeing him in this networking event as long as I have been here, and I've been coming for a year. So, Victor, the next minute is yours.
Thank you so much. Victor Lopez. I'm out of Fishkill, New York. It's a pleasure to be here. My specialty is in the real estate field. I am a tax lien, tax deed investor. I've been doing that for well over 35 years, so I guess I've been around a little bit. My info's in the chat, and we are also offering lines of credit and credit card at 0 interest. I put that info in the chat, and thank you for having me.
And for all of our listeners, if you would like to reach out to Victor, you can find him at 711flips.com. That's 711flip.com. All right. Well, now that we have gotten to everybody and we've had wonderful answers to all of our questions of the day, it is time to go into our breakout rooms. If you find yourself alone in a room, don't worry. I'll grab you and throw you into another one real quick. Fred, do you have anything else that we need to say before I throw them to the wolves and each other?
Oh, no, sorry. You said wolves, and that just kind of kicked my ADHD in. Kind of a neurodivergency thing, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I did forget one guest today, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I'm Deanna Brightfield with Lionheart Kingdom Marketing. We work with neurodivergent individuals and mental health professionals, as well as wellness professionals. So if you need help with your marketing, I'm going to keep this really brief. Whether it's your website or your social media, your ads, or you just want somebody to show you what to do, you can reach out to me at 205-623-7703. That's 205-623-7703. And I will be more than happy to get you on the right track, because everyone needs an advocate when it comes to your marketing, and I am here to be just that. So let's reach out into our breakout rooms, and hopefully everyone will get someone interesting, and you'll have a great next 5 minutes.
And I'll just remind listeners, you can call in at 323-580-5755. Just to confuse you with phone numbers, 323-580-5755. Or you can chat at the website, kphred.com. That's kfred.com. Just the way it's spelled, the way it sounds, or sounds the way it's spelled, something like that. Who knows?
Something like that.
Yeah. So, how are we doing, Deanna?
I'm doing good. I'm very, very stressed out. I have not done this before. I hope I'm doing okay. But, yeah, this is the part I have no idea what you and Lynn talk about, because I'm usually in a breakout room.
Well, don't worry about it. Everybody sucks their first time, and anyone who tells you different is wrong. You're always going to suck the first time you do something. That's why it's the first time. So, let's talk about neurodivergent news.
All right. We can absolutely talk about that. What questions do you have?
So, there's a rumor going around K-Fredland, and my spies who... Yes, there are spies in K-Fredland. Tell me that there's a new show starting that has something to do with neurodivergency. So first, before we talk about that, why don't you explain a bit about what neurodivergency is?
Well, we're actually talking about two terms here that are diametrically opposed. So most people fall into a category of what we would call neurotypical. So what that means is that they do not have any processing disorders. We are talking about mental health here. So what that means is, they're air quotes normal. Now, I hate to use that word because what is normal? I mean, we all have our quirks. But neurodivergent is when you're not air quotes normal. So that's going to be autistic, that's going to be ADHD, that's going to be people that have disorders like cerebral palsy, because their senses just don't work the way that the average person does. They don't think the way that the average person does. They can be easily distracted, or they can have any number of processing disorders that just generally make it difficult for them to communicate with the majority of people at large. And it's extremely it's become more common to hear it in the news. I actually spoke to a lady last week that she heard it for the first time when one of our presidential candidates was speaking on a stage, and she went, I have to go look that up. What does neurodivergent mean? So it is becoming more mainstream, and people are learning more and more about what it means to be neurodivergent. But for so many of us, it's a hidden, and I hate to use this word, disease. It's something that affects us that doesn't necessarily broadcast itself to the people that we interact with. And, you can see it as simply as somebody who is consistently scatterbrained, or somebody who maybe you walk into their house and you see piles of stuff in the corner. The house is clean, doesn't smell funny, but they don't organize things the way that normal people do. And if you mess with their piles, oh my gosh, they may kill you because they'll never find anything again. And that's what I have to deal with as someone with ADHD. But really, it's about bringing the term neurodivergent at the end of the day is about bringing awareness that everyone is not like you, and that it's okay to not be like everybody else. You define what is normal for you.
Sorry, I was having a bit of a ADHD attack there and went Monty Python.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah, no one's ever accused me of being normal. Maybe Abby normal, but never normal. Okay, so we've answered the question about what neurodivergency is, and sometimes that's why it's PH Red. So tell us about the rumor that there's a new show coming.
There are always rumors flying around on K-Fred Radio, aren't there?
Only the ones I start.
I will admit, I had originally intended on doing a radio show all about marketing, but as everyone told me, marketing is just stinking boring. Nobody wants to hear about it except for other marketers.
And even then, they don't want to hear about it. They just want to talk about it, realistically.
Yes. But as a marketer, I deal with neurodivergent business owners and I deal with mental health professionals. It seemed like, at least according to Fred, who was the one that gave me this wonderful idea, it was a natural segue. And it's not boring. Like, there's so much involved with neurodivergency. We're talking about dozens of different disorders. We're talking about hundreds of different tics and compensations where people have to learn how to function in what we call a normal world. And so really that's how Neurodivergent News got started, was someone needs to be a resource for all of those wonderful tips and tricks and how to find people that can help you, how to find information to help your children or your spouse, because 1 in 3 people is now classified as neurodivergent. And so within the next few weeks, we will be going live once a week for an hour, and then Fred can replay it to his heart's content. And we will be covering all of those great resources and topics and questions that people have about, am I neurodivergent and what does that mean to me?
Well, see, I think that's great. I think that's going to be a much more interesting show because other than 2 politicians droning on and saying, okay, so when I rank things, 2 politicians is probably at the top of most boring. Financial services folks tend to come in next. Marketing to me always sits, I think, my top 3 most boring people because basically the precepts of marketing haven't changed in the last 50 years. The channels have, and yet the channels change so fast that ultimately so fast that what works now isn't going to work in a year from now or isn't going to work as well. And no one really cares about it other than other marketing folks, and putting multiple marketing folks on the show to talk about is a sure way to have people drop dead of boredom. sorry, I used to be the guy that would go to the marketing presentations, and okay, I remember one where my partner looked and said, "Aren't you going to fight with them?" And it's like, no, what's the use? They're just boring. Because I used to like to spice it up, but even I've gotten so bored of marketing that, yeah, it's just not worth it. So I'm really happy that you're going to be talking about resources for neurodivergent people, so that way they can live in the normal world, whatever that is.
Exactly. And now we have been here for over 5 minutes, so our wonderful people in the breakout rooms are going to start to wonder where we are if we forgot about them.
Bring them back.
So let's bring them back.
And I'll remind people, if they've got questions, they can dial in at 323-580-5755. That's 323-580-5755. Or you can chat at kphred.com. That's kfred.com. And we'll be happy to get your questions to the Lunch with Lynn group. Also, shout out to Lynn Lionhood, who's at the hospital with her husband right now. He's feeling poorly, so we send our thoughts and wishes and prayers out to them. And we hope that he gets well and comes home soon, and Lynn is back being the lion of networking.
And on an update, I did speak to her right before this call, and I won't say he's doing much better, but he is more stable, he is more comfortable, and things are looking up for them. So hopefully he won't be there too long. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, I know I was chatting with Lynn last night, and I know he went into the hospital conscious, and as somebody who went in flat on his back, and they had to get 4 people to take him off the gurney to put him on the operating table. Going in conscious to the hospital is far better than going in unconscious to the hospital.
Absolutely. Well, we've got all of our wonderful participants back. Did everybody get something good?
Yeah.
Are you ready to do it again?
Yeah.
Sure. One more time. All right. So let's recreate those breakout rooms. And if you get the same person, feel free to come back in and we'll throw you in another room.
And away, I think they go. Yeah.
One at a time. Yep, there they go.
One at a time, dropping off. So Lynn had asked me a question a couple of weeks ago about topics I'd like to see new show hosts on. And we've got a show coming up on the, we'll call the family support side show coming up that is going to be helping families and with kids. And I think I'm not sure if that's redundant or not, but we'll say family with kids stay together, because anybody who's been married knows that marriage can be tough. And we've also got a show coming up for divorced dads who have kids. And this is actually one that's kind of near and dear to my heart, because I was a divorced dad, and I'm now blessed grandpa. But they're looking at bringing divorced dads resources that they can make better lives for the kids. So the show I'd like to see, and Lynn and I have talked about this, is something that's in the middle, kind of a show on one of the wisest things I ever heard, and it was something I had lived by before I ever heard it, was when going through a divorce, you got to love your kids more than you hate your spouse, your ex. And I've seen that happen where the exes hate their spouses so much that they make life miserable for kids. And I'd really like to find a show that is maybe a divorce mediator or somebody like that, who could come and talk talk about stories of the good and the bad, maybe even the ugly, although now we're going to Katrin Becker, but she's a business. But I like to find somebody that's in the middle that could bring resources for couples who are especially with kids who are going through divorce. Make it so just because they can't live with the person, they don't destroy their kids' lives with the divorce.
I completely agree. I have never been divorced, but I did marry a divorced individual that had a toddler at the time. And sitting on the sidelines watching that, I mean, you're absolutely correct. You have to love your kids more than you hate your ex. And it doesn't seem like that occurs very often. And the trauma to the kids can just be, I mean, like, you have to be so careful about what you say and control yourself. And they can sense that. And just being on that side of you do hate your ex that much, and that over control that you have to maintain to try to not affect your kids affects your kids because they see it.
Exactly. And you know, it's I remember talking to my daughter. She was in her early 30s at that time. And I forget what was said, but she said, "No, Dad, I'm not in therapy because of you. It's because of Mom."
Oh, my gosh.
She said, "Don't worry. There's stuff I talk about you in there, but no, you're not the reason why." Because it was, for me, it was more important to be dad, be the father, to take care of the kid I brought into the world who had no say in getting brought into this world. See, that's what drives me up a wall. Parents bring kids into the world, and then they're going to fight, squabble, and try to screw the other one. And all they're doing is screwing the kids, and the kids didn't ask to be brought in the world. They you know, it was because Mom and Dad said, "Oh, let's have a kid," or, you know, and it drives me up a wall when people are dumbasses, either during the divorce or after the divorce. And I've seen some horrifying, and I mean horrifying divorces that it's like, I'm going to be amazed if your kid doesn't turn into a serial killer by what you've done. So enough on that topic. That's kind of a downer topic. We got some really cool shows coming up. If anybody caught last week's K-Fred Prime Live, I will admit last week's topic of if God made you God for a day and you could do anything, what would you create as long as it benefited humanity, was an interesting topic, but it wasn't nearly as fun as the one 2 weeks before, which was, as you well know, how would your life be if you were born the opposite sex? I got to tell you, Deanna, that's one of my favorite episodes of any podcast I've done over the last 14 years. I had more fun on that one than I've had in one in years, I think. Maybe since the time I made the one HR expert go totally dead panic silence when I asked her about AI and taking over HR. And that was like 5 years ago before AI started taking everything over. So that was a fun episode. What were your thoughts on that episode?
Oh, man, I was so excited. I've been on K-Fred Prime now twice, and that one, you got me so pumped up, man. I was like, oh, I'm so ready to answer this question. I know exactly who I would have been if I had been born a man. And unfortunately, you were the only guy on the show that day. But it was really interesting hearing all the women, ponder who they could have been. And then we all had our opinions about who you would have been. So, that was absolutely hysterical.
Yeah. Out of 5 women, only one of them said, "No, I support Fred as a male," which cracks me up. I did find it interesting that the majority of women thought their lives would have been better as a male. And I for me, that was a really hard question to answer. I really, other than knowing I'd spend more time in the bathroom because, I don't have to go to the bathroom or the restroom in a group of women. I can just go by myself. It surprised me that as many women don't like their lives as they do.
Well, I mean, bathroom mafias aside, being a woman in the modern age is obviously a lot better than it was even 20, 30 years ago. And not to go, try to get us down on anything, but y'all have more fun.
Oh, yeah. We have all kinds of fun.
Y'all get to do what you want. You get to say what you want. And as long as you don't break the law, people leave y'all alone. And everybody's got an opinion about what a woman's doing.
The opposite side of that is no one gives a crap about what a man's got to say.
Now, that is not true, and you know it. Everybody listens to you.
No, I actually see my thing's never been about being listened to or heard. My thing's always been about helping other people tell their stories. To the things that I hear and the things that I see, my thing has always been about getting that word out, because in my brain, if people can see what I see and hear what I hear, then we've got a chance of making the world a better place, because communications are facilitated. These days, everyone wants to scream at each other. I've got a friend of mine. This goes back to the 2016 election, and he had posted on Facebook about people that were picketing outside across the street with bullhorns. And his comment was that when people are using bullhorns like that, you're not getting facilitation, you're not getting communication, you're not creating dialogue, you're just trying to scream. And he was taken to task for this by somebody else we both knew, who was a white blonde woman, and who told him he didn't understand the racial characteristics of it, which is really, really, really funny, because he's a Black American. I know that because I once asked him about that. He honestly saved my life after my wife died. And it was that disconnect of him, this woman lecturing him about he didn't understand. It's like, well, I don't want to use the words that I would normally use, but it was like, what kind of fracking moron are you? He has a deeper understanding than you will ever have, and his observation was full on. If you're using a bullhorn, you're not trying to educate, you're trying to indoctrinate or intimidate, dominate. And you know what? That's not the goal. That's not the way we make a better world. It's getting people to talk out the problems, the issues, what's going on, and that's how we can reach consensus and make it a better world. For, in my case, for my grandkids. That's what K-Fred's about, is making the world a better place for my grandkids by getting people's words, their stories, their capabilities out to those who need them. All right, now get down off the soapbox. Fred's rant
I was about to say, it's time to bring everybody back from the breakout rooms before they think that we forgot about them.
We did.
So I'm going to go ahead and close. We did not. I was letting you talk. You always have wonderful things to say.
Not really, but that's okay.
So
I appreciate
the station for us again.
So everyone, you can dial in for the rest of the show at 323-580-5755. That's 323-580-5755. You can chat at kphred.com. And we do have a few, Lynn has maybe a half a dozen show slots still open. So if you're interested in having your own show on kphred.com, reach out to Lynn Lionhood, and she will get you hooked up. She'll get you the form and everything else, and then you can, join K-Fredland. We'll have another K-Fred Prime Live in 2 weeks, and amazingly enough, one of our guests on this past week, A Better World Through Integrity, James White Sr., dude has great grandkids. To me, he won me when he said he had great grandkids. Now, something I learned on last week was I think it was his grandfather was actually a slave until he was age 7. And the fact that we're getting to bring his viewpoint, his story to K-Fred really rocks. The thing that really blew my mind was he wants to come back on K-Fred Prime Live and be a recurring guest. All right, so then I thought he might have had a brain hemorrhage, but anybody who wants to keep coming on, I always wonder about their sanity. But take us back to.
It's really important that those perspectives continue to be voiced because we're losing. I mean, that generation is all but gone.
Oh, I love the fact we run from about age 23 in show host to age 81, male, female, and at least across multiple races, we have show hosts, which somehow means we've built a global community. Kind of weird that it happened.
Mhm. Well, I mean, if it's meant to be, it'll occur the way that it's supposed to. And K-Fred Radio has it went from 90 or nothing to 100 miles an hour practically overnight. I've just been so impressed with what y'all got going on.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't slam me into a brick wall, I'm fine.
We'll be there to pick you up if you do.
Okay, so
welcome everybody back.
Ask Victor a question. Because Victor's ask Victor a question because he's a cool dude. And, I'm kind of in awe of what he does. So, Victor, give us one tip on how to buy property.
Well, pennies on the dollar.
Exactly.
Tax liens and tax deeds.
Ooh, see, pennies on the dollar. You got to love that. The man doesn't want you to spend huge amounts of money. It's pennies on the tax lien dollar by buying a tax lien. When are you going to start teaching classes on this, Victor?
I've been requested. I've had requests, a lot of requests, and I never actually did it.
All right. So what I'm hearing is when Lynn gets back out of dealing with her husband, we're going to have to send her to rough you up.
I'd like to see that.
Lynn has become K-Fred's chief enforcer officer. She's meaner than I am. She's better than I am.
I agree.
Go ahead, Dan. Your shot.
Well, now you broached an interesting topic. There are so many people that come to this meeting every single week, and I know some of them have classes that they teach, and they never, ever, ever talk about them. So I would love for somebody to raise their hand and just talk for just a minute about what they've got going on.
If you don't, I'll pick somebody. So, Kelly Kellum leaps into the ambush. Go for it.
Sure, you're asking for somebody to talk. I'm always open to it. So I actually do a lot of workshops, Zoom workshops, specifically to help families understand why they need to start early, understand why the college environment and admissions and funding has changed so much in the past couple of years, and what they need to do for the students to be successful. I do one of those a month, and I also am starting a new group coaching program where families will be able to do a subscription and stay only as long as they need to, but they'll get all of the support that my individual clients would get, obviously not quite as much one-on-one. I'm very hands-on with my individual clients, but it will be a great opportunity for families that just need a little support and need some education on how to go about doing things with a few one-on-one meetings. So those things are both coming up, and I'll be putting more information out about that in the next couple of weeks. But if anybody's interested, please reach out to me, put webinar in the chat, or not the chat, in a text at 847-997-1449. That's 847-997-1449. And again, I didn't introduce myself, Kelly Kellum, College Admission Strategist. Thanks so much for the question, Fred.
So
Yes.
one follow-up question. Are you going to be certifying Kelly Kellum coaches?
No, not at the moment. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Well, sometimes when people develop online courses, they develop certification coaches so that you can only get to so many people and help so many people. But if you certified, 500,000 coaches, then everybody would be able to get cheap pricing to colleges, and we could drive down the cost of college.
That's actually a good point. I had not thought of it that way. I do know that eventually I'm going to need to bring on some other people. Part of the reason for going to the group coaching was so that I could work with more families and I could make more of an impact between that and the webinars, as opposed to just doing one-on-one coaching. But you've actually raised a good point, something I need to consider, Fred.
Okay, so let's go to the lady that's all heart. Dorcia, you had your hand up. You like that? Did you like that?
Yeah, I like that. Thank you. So I'm just starting a new workshop on Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Make sure I get the right time zone in there. And so what I'm going to be doing demos to show people that water is different. And so that, you should look at different waters to help your body get rid of toxic stuff in your body and to hydrate better. And a lot of the products are acidic. Some of them are alkaline. And I'm going to probably show a lot of different water bottles that you might drink and show you the differences so that you can make a more informed decision about water that you put in your mouth. And your body will use that water to actually build new cells. And so I'm just trying to educate people that there are differences. Your body will do better with better water. It'll also do better with better food, And I don't ask people to stop eating what they're eating. Just add 8 to 10 fruits and vegetables a day. So if you can add that first and eat that first before you eat anything else like hamburgers and all this other stuff, processed food, then your body will be better for it. And then at the end, you need to exercise. So out of 24 hours, you should be able to find 30 minutes where you can just use 30 minutes of exercise. And you can also break it up, 5 minutes every hour. You don't have to do the whole 30 minutes in one swoop. So think about that. Those 3 things your body uses to heal itself. Better water, better nutrition, and movement.
True that. And right now I've been training. I'm afraid my cardiologist is going to try to make me take another nuclear stress test. So this time I beat the sucker because I'm up to like 15 minutes at a 15-degree angle. So exercise. Yeah, I figure once I get up to 30 minutes at a 15-degree angle, ain't no way I'm stopping that. I'm going to bust that nuclear stress test machine. All right. Who has go ahead.
So they can reach me. Yeah, they can reach me at 323-559-5537, and I can send you the link it's a Zoom meeting on Sunday. So I'll send you the link if you give me a call.
Excellent. So one of our other new folks is quietly trying to stay quiet, but we're going to put her on the spot. Valerie, say something. Wow us. But you got to unmute.
God bless the USA.
Fair enough. I'm down with that. You won my vote.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to tell us?
I love the water idea. I love the eating well idea and the exercise idea. I live those principles almost every day, I should say. And when Dorothea said cut out soda pop, I cut that out probably when I was about 30. And so that was a long time ago, as you can see. And
our listeners can't, but that's okay.
She's still a beautiful lady.
Aw, thank you. So it's hard to look in Zoom all the time because, boy, do we show ourselves our wrinkles. But it's really interesting to meet all of you, and what a diverse group this is. It's fascinating, actually. And it's enriching to see that we all have something to offer. Carolyn, my mother and father-in-law were from England, so I appreciate you and what you're doing.
All right. Now we're going to go to the person who has one of the best backgrounds, which no one who's listening can see. But of all the backgrounds of everyone on here, the one I like best is Arlene's. She's dead center between two doors. It's a nice, clean background. Come on, Arlene, and tell us how you got such a clean room. And you got to unmute first.
I can tell you how she did it. She reorganized her entire living room about 3 months ago when she got a new desk.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. So there's barely, because there was a whole bunch of stuff over there behind me and everything. And I know the wall right now is a little bare, but I'm not sure what I want to put on it eventually. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I reorganized my whole living space, and I don't want to take up the whole time showing you the living space, because if I do, trust me, I will get carried away.
Okay, so
one thing she can get excited about is that desk. It raises up so she can stand and do her work instead of sitting.
And it's automatic, so I can just
Ooh.
on and it just goes up.
All right, so I don't think you put anything in the background because it frames you way, way, way too much, too good. I think that's perfect. The question I have is, what's the hat say?
It's just images. It doesn't really say it's images, just graphics on there and some little beads. These are like little silver stuff, and then another little image right here. But that's pretty much it.
See, when I used to produce Pillars of Franchising, we had the rule of every show host and contributor had to wear a hat. Guests did not have to, but were strongly encouraged to. And man, most of the guests would wear a hat, and some of them were just so wild and cool. So I always appreciate people with hats.
Yes, I've been wearing hats a lot. I'm growing out my hair, so.
So am I.
Good luck, Fred.
It's in an unruly situation, so I just wear a hat.
Smart woman.
It's in the unruly stage, so it's in a hat. It's covered. So.
All right. Do you want to pick on someone, Deanna, or do you want me to keep picking on people? Because we got another 10 minutes.
I'm enjoying you picking on people. Please feel free.
All right. Let's go to somebody new, York. Sorry, I had to get that in somehow because it New York, so on. So, Wendy, say something.
Yes, I say Wendy York as in New York, and they get it, Yeah, so glad to be here. I'm loving all of this. I want to ask Dawn. Dawn, do you know a woman named Jeannie Clean? Oh, okay. I thought she was in Avon for years and years. She's one of my mom's friends, and I loved your presentation and all of your offerings for Halloween and this fall. They're very, very fun.
Wow, the year's going by so fast, isn't it? That we're looking at Halloween and Christmas soon.
Boring topic, since you bring up Christmas. Just a brief PSA, if you're not advertising your services with your holiday offer yet, you are almost overdue, guys. You should start doing that 30 to 60 days ahead of time And that's December 1st. So 30 to 60 days ahead of December 1st. So get on the ball.
And if you are advertising your Christmas stuff already, I hate you. But that's correct.
I hate me too.
So there's 12 days of Christmas and no song about if every day could be Halloween, but there is a song if every day could be Christmas.
Every day doesn't have to be Halloween. This is Halloween.
If every day were Halloween, then kids would walk around looking like beach balls because they'd eat so much candy that never mind. Okay.
They look like zombies.
Sugar, too much sugar.
Amen.
They look like zombies from all the darn crashes.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to go overseas because we've got Keith in Ireland. So we're going to ask him a tough question. What is the correct way to make a corned beef sandwich?
Is there an incorrect way?
All ears.
Corned beef in between it.
Okay, but there are those who say just corned beef on rye, and I like that, and I like corned beef on rye with some Swiss and mustard. But is there a correct corned beef and rye or corned beef sandwich? Should you have the other stuff, or should you just eat the corned beef in a pile?
I'm not so sure I'm qualified to answer that.
Now, I will say my dad's favorite way of corned beef was a Cuban sandwich.
Oh.
His mother used to send those to him from Florida in a cooler tub a couple of times a year when I was younger, and you would think it was Christmas every time he got that cooler tub.
See, I love corned beef. Keep the cabbage away. Don't need the cabbage. All right, who are we going to pick on next? Let's pick on Carolyn. The card box lady. So, what's better to get? A card or a box of chocolates?
Oh, a card. Because you can keep the memory of the card, you can frame it, but you can't frame an empty box of chocolates.
So, given that I've been saving cards that have been given to me for too many decades that I will not share, my daughter would disagree with you because she knows she's going to be the one who's got to go through all that crap and look and go, why the hell did Dad save this? So. My bet is she'd argue and say the box of chocolates because that way Dad will eat it and he throws away the box. At least I don't think I've any.
Well, it's a very good point, but I'd still go for the card.
Okay.
I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I sell them.
Exactly there. So, all right.
Card won't help.
You can. The good thing about a card is you can use it to start a fire or something like that.
Yeah.
But
yes, good point.
What part of the
good point, but that would then burn the memory.
Yeah, but it might keep you warm.
Well, it might do. Yes, very true.
So,
very true.
What part of England is your accent from?
Well, I don't have a local dialect, so I could be from anywhere. But I'm actually originate from near the south coast of England.
Okay, I'd buy that. I'd buy that. Excellent. Let's talk to the lady in, I think, L.A., who's got Liz. I think you need to change your last name so that way you could be Liz A. So that way it'd be matched your location.
Yes, and of course I'm. You see radio listeners can't see my background: Palm trees swaying, and the ocean. I'm manifesting a vacation to Turks and Caicos.
You live in L.A. You're what? How far away from the beach? Why do you need?
You know what? I actually live by. I live by the beach. I can't hear. I know. But being being on vacation in like the Caribbean is just better than the crowded, bad air quality and not very pretty water by where I am.
See, that's the thing that always cracks me up about Californians. It's like, we're going to go on vacation. It's like most of the rest of the U.S. is like, let's go to where there's a beach. And Californians are going, no, we're going to leave the beach and go somewhere else. So that always cracks me up.
I know. I feel silly saying that. But
all right.
Just being on an island right now sounds magnificent.
I understand that. So, but we're going to ask you for a tip for parents who have kids who don't want to go to college. What's the number one tip you're going to give to parents?
Figure out who your child really is. And Kelly's nodding her head because, sometimes teenagers are conflicted. They think they need to go to college because that's what their parents are pushing and their teachers are pushing. Inherently, they know they're not meant for college. And so I strongly recommend parents have those conversations, be super communicative with your family and teenager and really ask those questions. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Do you feel like you want to go to college? And if you don't, do you have any idea what it is that you would want to do? And just start to have those conversations. It's so important. It really is.
So if you know your child doesn't want to go to college, how do you frame that conversation of what it looks like after high school for them?
So I think it's really important. So I think it's important to pick up on what your child is, how your child is doing academically in school, and also picking up on, what kind of interest your child has, and then having those conversations like, what do you see yourself doing after high school if college is not your path? What are some, what do you think your strengths are? And then as a parent, ideally the parent knows their child very well and knows what kind of interests the child has, the strengths the child, has, and skills, and help hone those skills, strengths, and interests. But I cannot stress enough, communication.
2x4, 2x4. Sorry, never mind.
I'm sorry, what, Fred?
2x4. Yeah, that helps too.
I know. I'm
partial to the cast iron skillet myself.
Fair enough.
Yes. So, Deanna, does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. And my son, one of my children has actually worked with Liz because we knew early on that he was not college bound. And, he struggled as a young child with academics, but he got better, but he just knew that wasn't the path. And so for me, the struggle was always, how do I frame that conversation of what does it look like after high school?
Yep, exactly.
All right, so we got just a second, Mark. I'll get you. Don't sweat. So we got two other people I want to get in before the show's over. One is I want to ask Rob, how long does it take to trim the beard? And does your wife give you crap about it?
It doesn't take me very long at all because I have one of those things that just trims it real quick for me. And my wife likes it when it's really, really short and stubbly looking, so I kind of look like I'm 10 years younger or something. I don't know.
Oh, I heard that 10 years younger one too. Yeah.
Well, my wife is 11 years older than me already. She just likes younger guys, I guess. I don't know. We've been married for 23 years. So I'm doing something right. And by the way, I took we took our honeymoon at Turks and Caicos, so scuba diving the entire time too. So.
Were you wearing a tie at the time?
No.
Okay, good. I was afraid.
No, of course not. He was wearing a Speedo.
I was wearing.
No, I don't want to hear that. I don't need that image. The only way I can handle it is if he's actually wearing a tie while he's wearing the other. But we don't need to go there. That might hurt people. All right. Now, last person, the one on this call who has the most to be thankful for, because as far as I can tell, he's the youngest. So that's why he has the most energy. Mark, say something intelligent because you're going to get the last word other than Deanna and I.
I say intelligent, I was going to tell with Liz's, there's a quote by Jay Shetty that says, you can only be what you could see. So if you never see something, like if you never see a millionaire, you never want to be a millionaire. If you never saw a monk, you can never want to be a monk. So it's just these things with kids going to college. It's like that's all they ever see bombarded to them throughout schools and high schools and TV and stuff. So they never really get to know anything else of like what are their options they don't even know of. As far as the youngest, I'm like, no, my energy will probably still be around even in another 20, 30 years because as we like to joke, is like I test my product every day because I've seen the electricity. So I get charged and vamped up every day.
Excellent. Deanna, you got any last words you want to say?
No, sir, other than thank you all for your time today. It is always a pleasure to see all of these wonderful smiling faces. This is my favorite time block of the week, and hopefully I'll see you all again next week.
We'll be back next week with Lunch with Lynn on K-Fred. Give us a shout and listen to some of the other great shows on there. We'll be back, folks, next week, Leslie. Have a great one.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
See you later.
Take care, everybody. Deanna, are you